Beautiful people, today we are ranking the best midfielders in all of FC 25. We're on that final pusher, the absolute send-off, and we have upgraded the tiers. We have top 10, extra broken, rank 1, and foot champs. These are the best of the best. If you're excited for FC 26, because there's been a lot of news, plenty of gameplay focus, I've got my fingers crossed. Like this here video, turn on some notifications. Without further ado, LaBelle, straight off the hot press, 98 overall, we're going broken. Gracie, never been amazing for me in the midfield. This item is an upgrade. I'm not going to discredit. I'm giving her rank 1. These are my opinions. We have a back and forth. Toda'ys, I'm conflicted because she's done so much. And I wouldn't say she's dated, even though we have seen upgrades that technically would be in an attacking role. She just has more comp in the midfield. But still with the 4 play styles, I like her in extra broken. I'm not turning my back on Toda'ys. Caicedo and Chelsea been on some movements. Where do we want to take them? I believe you're actually paying more of a premium because of the rarity of the item. The lack of availability, supply, demand, economics is why he's so expensive. And for that reason, I'm leaving him in rank 1. And maybe I should preface or make a blanket statement. Can't get into the permutations when it comes to Evos. The amount of hypotheticals and insert a player here, upgrade, what's happening over there, it would get out of hand. Bon Mati, still got love for her. Ballon d'Or winner. And I'd like to always almost have Toda'ys as just one notch above. And I'm going to stay consistent with that. Ronnie was a cheap SBC, if I do recall. Some discount shopping. Love him as a holding mid. To the point that I'm having some internal conversations. In that type of role, he does the business. The Bellinghams, if you've been grinding through objectives, this is your choice between both Jude and Job, whether it's size or play style, preference, positioning, individual stat room stuff, and you can't go wrong. And they're likely to both potentially battle it out for the top 10, but I'd like to keep it conservative as we're early in the list. David Beckham, he can play in that floating holding mid role. We've seen him as a fullback. I still wouldn't be mad if you brought him into rank 1, back and forth. He's making things happen in Miami. They just keep signing all of Messi's friends. It's been quite the ride the last couple seasons in MLS, and you would think there'd be a favorite to make a deep run this year in particular, welcoming the ball. Barella, Pitbull in the middies. Should he go above broken? I will hear your case. I don't know that I should be the final judge, but as I'm recording, this is where I have him. Ruud Gullit, and hear me out. Since this item was introduced, he has been the main man. Every single squad, every weekend league, result driven, does not matter if it's rivals, a draft, foot champs, big moments, small moments, presence, size. He's galloping through the midfield, the goals that he scores, the track back that he has, the natural overpowered nature. Even at a 94, I cannot, in my FC Hearts or my FIFA development program, not have him in the top 10. But that's just me. Bernardo Silva, bit more of a specialist, but the dribbling is spectacular. And I like him still in rank 1, but you have to have the right midfield correspondence if you want to collaborate properly. Foudy, can I get some American bias? I always say this, and I'll stay on record, and I'll keep it on repeat, I'll reiterate. She does a lot for what she's going to cost. Just doesn't have that same brand name or the recognition. It's sort of been this way throughout the year. This 97 SCN put him back on the map, more pit-bully, finally making a difference, giving you that grunt feel that is necessary, that instant responsiveness. Got his way all the way up. Cafu, I still prefer him as a fullback, but this item is good. I'm not knocking what he can do as a center mid or a holding mid, takes up space well, track record is there. I don't have any worries. He's a sure thing when it comes to being an asset on the virtual pitch. Kevin De Bruyne, now on the move, and we put together a video on our second channel, The Football Records. I highly encourage you to subscribe. That is indeed a plug. And similar to Ruud Gullit, he's given me too much time at such a high level. Even presently as we're playing, I need him in the top 10. Maybe I'm overly rewarding some of these players that have been at the most elite levels over multiple months. That could be the reality. I'm okay being open and addressing that. Bobby, don't need him in the midfield. Apologies. Baresi, at least he's on the pitch, which makes me happy, but he's not going to compete versus some of the elite for the midfielders and the optionality. And if I left off any names, by all means, comment below. I try to take players that I'm seeing in rotations, that are regular contributors, that are dominant, that are brand spanking new, but EA's putting out new editions and promos, it feels like every day of the week as we have the lead up to FC 26. Casillas, I didn't ask for it. I don't think he's going to go above and beyond. When I've used him, that's sort of been my reoccurring feeling. Eric Cantona, I love him. I can't knock him. I only appreciate him. He has always won me over. And now in the midfield, you have both the physicality, but you have the skillfulness. He's got the ability with both feet. I feel comfortable and confident. I can move between multiple positions. This is my type of player, to the point that I'm giving him that instant upgrade. You booked the flight and you got first class, top 10. Bruno Fernandes has not been amazing for me. He's kind of been a question mark player. I know some of you will stand by him. Others might agree with yours truly. This is a better version than he's had previously. I'm comfortable with him being in broken. Ellie Carpenter, you don't need her. Fernandez might be a sleeper choice. Got to be more of an attacker. Dybala, I don't love as a center mid or a holding mid. I don't care if you upgrade the stats. It just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel organic. I don't have the synergy, and I don't know if it's a positioning issue. I'm not going above rank 1. I'll leave that here. Bruno G, comfy and confident, another holding mid or box to box. Gravenberch and Gakpo are such similar players in the midfield. They both represent Liverpool. They're Dutch. The stat lines are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They move somewhat similar, and they've both been active in my teams, in my squads. Gravenberch, of course, over quite an extended period from team of the season. I'm okay with them being broken. I don't know if you're going to agree or you're going to disagree. Some of this is maybe my personal usage rate, the amount of games, the amount of time, the amount of input and output, the team building, mediocre clout FC. These guys have been major influences, especially Gravenberch. Mia Hamm on the shapeshifter as the center mid, or I think a fullback. It's just not her best position. And you know, I'm the first to shout off the rafters. Undeniably, one of, if not the most influential women's soccer player of all time. But I don't love her as a center mid. I wouldn't be mad if EA did one more release. Just give her another attacking role, because that's where she should be, and she scores for fun and has that natural attacking nature and nurture, just capability off rip. Patry, we need more in extra broken. We might have some additional movements. I've teased it. I've talked about it. I'm staying consistent with that, and she comes with 5 play styles. Paredes, some of you might lean more or less as a center back. I still think she's sort of undersized, so I'm happy to move her into the midfield. She has significant upgrades, and I'm saying broken. Roy Keane, that's going to be a no. EA's trying, but it's just not working. Even Frank Lampard, he's kind of been missing, and I think I might have forgot a version of Steven Gerrard. You can just toss something on screen, but he would join the foot champs, whatever his highest rated item is. João Neves, most definitely legit, likely to have even more momentum, some more upward trajectory. Little, I think, is a sleeper if you're looking for someone with Kimmy. Lothar on the objective or the challenges. You could be actively doing this, at least as we're recording. I'm not sure that he gets out of broken. Still highly respectable category. As I'm looking at the list, I can already see a couple movements that might need to happen. Horan, if you recall, was part of that initial or the first release of Team of the Season. And at a 97, she was everywhere. Dominating pitches, at least on the virtual end. Ins and outs and creativity and ingenuity. I salute heavy. And I'm going to keep her in rank 1. Isak, is he on the move to Liverpool? This could be live reporting. Sort of, maybe live updates. It's happening hour by hour or day by day. Wouldn't that be quite the signing? And as a center mid, I'm okay with rank 1. Petite, also rank 1. Hasn't really been able to rerun or track back some of the golden years where he commanded such dominance and presence, and he was just part of different partnerships in the old school midfield where you could run 2 gladiator type of holding mids and they just took up space. And Petit being left-footed, he offered a lot of value for that type of role. It just hasn't been as modern or dynamic going forward in the last 2 or 3 FC or FIFA installments. Modric, can I be biased? I'd like to be. I want him in extra broken, but I don't think that's going to fly. So we'll go to the standardized. Another end of an era, making a Serie A move, joining the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, a new level of competition. I didn't see it coming, but here it is. Conte has done a lot. I'm going to keep him in rank 1 because there just are too many holding mids or box-to-box nuisances that are a little bit better. Isco at the disco, always getting upgrades, but never really pushing that next level of an agenda, that next level of an initiative. I don't mean that with disrespect. Lucio, holding mid status, is at a premium. He's got that pedigree. I like him in extra broken. Nadine, not going to happen. Ramirez, it's weird. He's done so much, but if you don't have the play styles and you don't necessarily have the upgrades or the stats the same way, it's difficult to have them too far up in this list amongst all these upgrades and new players and just stats that are pushing new levels. Loftus-Cheek, some of you might say more of a center back. I like him still as a holding mid. I'm going rank 1. Big Mike in the middies. He can join the goalkeeper partnership with Casillas in the foot champs. Lewandowski, I don't know if this quite works the way that you hoped that it would, or that I hoped that it would. It definitely doesn't mesh as well as Harry Kane. And my first instinct says Harry is going to move in the top 10. So I'm going to start him off there. I think this is his best position by far. I was never on board as being able to resonate and connect in the same way up front with some of his upgraded striker options. I know so many of you love Harry Kane on the virtual pitch, on the actual pitch. I sometimes struggled, at least when we're playing FC, but this center mid item, it brings it all together. MC Sauce, part of the storytelling of after you leave United, you are definitely in your prime. Can we get him into rank 1? We're going to do it. Marquinhos. This is easily the best version of Marquinhos I think I've ever used. I don't love him as a center back, but as a center mid, it does come together. Park Ji-sun, don't sleep. Going to cost you nothing. And he can play everywhere. Utility type player. Just someone you want to have on the pitch. Gets all the links. Pulisic, this version didn't move the needle enough. Blaise Matuidi, I would argue, might be your best holding mid. Stat for stat. Breakup, physicality, elite level footwork. He never stops. He is by definition relentless. Musiala, and I'm only sending love on his injury recovery. I'd love to see him back on the pitch as soon as possible. Of course, that was somewhat tragic during the FIFA Club World Cup. On the virtual pitch, and I stand by this, he is the best at the speed with the R1 dribbling and the technical calm. The technician, if you will, the separation of space, the speed, the jolt, the instant 0 to 100. He is a player that differentiates himself. Pedri, many of you love him. I don't know that I can get him out of rank 1. Lautaro, we're trying. A player that deserves way better transitional or transcending items on the FC side, and it just hasn't happened. Rolfo, I don't know what to do. Is she an attacker? Is she a fullback? Is she a midfielder? She's so good that I'd like her in extra broken, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. Another player that can position herself in many different ways and roles at the highest degree. She is ready. She is prepped. Stanway, new 99s. I like her in extra broken. I don't know that I'm ready to give any sort of guarantee in the top 10 as such a new item. And even her previous items that had phenomenal stats and good play styles, and they looked all inclusive, weren't necessarily as high in deliverables as you may have expected. And when you're dealing with so many players that are 95, 96 or better, some of these stats are fraudulent. Paul Scholes, I'd love for him to be better. I mean that with love. Declan Rice, good SBC. Quality holding mid. I don't think that I would give him that next nudge to being broken. Stoichkov, you have to play as a cam. I don't think I'd want him as a box-to-box or a holding mid, but he is gifted and talented going forward. And another player that doesn't get the respect. He's a little more under the radar. He's low-key with it. Maybe doesn't carry the big brand name, but he's got his chest out. He's ready for competition. Marco Reus always finds his way for an upgrade. I'll never forget those early footies items. If you're throwing it back maybe a decade at this point, we used to have the tournaments and the playthroughs. Even with all these stats, I still see Royce more as a weekend league contender, but not too much further ahead. Ruben Neves, 3 play styles with the golden item. And if you just wanted to build a midfield from Portuguese players, you would have options. Tanaka, we're putting some GP from before. Tomas Rosicki is still not going to make it happen. Salwa has a better version, but again, it's part of the positional swap. Even her 94 during more prime time, I don't think she was maybe next level good enough compared to what we've seen in previous iterations. Yaya Toure, I don't think he can get into broken. Would you agree? Would you disagree? He was super expensive at the time. This is not a value list. I just remember that SBC being somewhat debatable due to the price point. Patrick Vieira, without a doubt, is better than Yaya Toure. I'd go as far as extra broken. I still do not like going up against him. I know what sort of game I'm going to be dealing with. I understand him as an adversary, and he still has a certain level of intimidation even with his 94. Zinedine, you are just paying for the name. And I mean that with love. I'm happy to put him in rank 1. We've all used him this year. We've seen multiple iterations or versions. If I'm not mistaken, this 96 has one play style. And current age, regardless of stats, it is a big part of the gameplay. Tchouaméni, I love this item. Dominant holding mid, great as a center mid in a box-to-box role. Even as a center back, I got full trust in him. I'm going all the way up to extra broken. If you've not used him, this would be the time. Less than 100,000 coins, and you're getting yourself a prime competitor. Vidic, I've always liked him. Another very physical, big body type in the midfield. Are we going to lean him into broken is the question. I think I'm going to leave him on the outskirts. Valverde, he has not been loved this year, not the same way. Rodri with the 97 team of the year from December, January. I still got him extra broken. Xavi is one of those players, if you're looking at what you're spending and what you're getting on the back end, comes down to are you inserting evos, and I don't really want to get into that, so I don't know what to do here. I'm going to put him into rank 1 as is, and you could take it away in the comment section of how you've built him up to become a different type of beast, the absolute visionary with beyond 2020, a man that needs no introduction. We're very familiar with this game. Elatoon, cheap SBC, no reason not to complete. I'm gonna leave her in foot champs. Tamori, unfortunately, also in foot champs. Thuram, I like him for rank 1, viable as we're discussing, as we're recording. Ollie Watkins also can go into rank 1. Gonna have to be more of an attacking midfielder, or at least play some sort of attacking role. He's got that rapid pusher. Vitinha, what an item, what a player. He will have a final plea or a case to be made for the top 10. Zé Roberto, another utility player. Is he best suited as a center mid? One would argue perhaps, or maybe not. He has that versatility. I'm still comfortable with extra broken. Williams, I know she's a 99, but she's not going beyond broken. Quite pro clubs like with the build at 5'4", 5'5", and stats are looking insane. And last but not least, we have Emery. I'm okay with him being in rank 1. Let us finalize and get into this review. Elephant in the room, both the Bellinghams will most definitely make a case for the top 10. João Neves should be considered. Some of you might talk about Stanway. Vitinha has been electric in the midfield. No denying his talent. Vieira is too dated to get out of extra broken, as good as his positioning is. Let's start moving players. So we'll take both Bellinghams up. João Neves, Vitinha. That gives us 9 of the finalized top 10. And this could get more controversial with our last selection. I've done so much with Rodri. He's been good for so long, or great for so long. That extended period. Do we credit that? Zé Roberto also could make an argument. My biggest issue is that I don't think his best position is as a center mid or even as a midfielder. I look at him almost more of an attacker. But he's probably the best overall from the current extra broken tier, just in general, which might make for a hot take, but I'm moving Zé Roberto up. If anything, I'm going to pull up a couple broken players. I'm coming in with a true respect play, and we're giving Modric the final placement. We're not going to focus on the foot champs or rank 1. So we have a top 10. We also have 10 players in extra broken. We've got everything that trickles down. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If we missed out on any players, or if you have questions, I'm happy to give you my opinion on any and everyone. I appreciate all of you. And as always, we'll have a lot more content coming out ASAP.